Welcome in, everybody. Get ready for a deep dive you won't forget, because today we're talking about garlic.
Garlic.
Garlic. We've got some really interesting material to dig into today, kind of a blend of practical tips and advice, but also some home remedies.
Okay.
So if you're the kind of person who likes the DIY,
Right.
get ready for some aha moments because this is going to be a good one.
I love a good DIY project, so I'm excited.
Me too, especially with garlic.
Yeah, it's one of those ingredients that's just so versatile,
Yeah.
You can use it for so many things.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what jumped out at me when I was looking at all this material was just how much garlic can do.
Right.
It's not just for flavor.
Yeah, no, it's definitely more than just a flavor enhancer.
Like way more.
Yeah, our sources are really highlighting its history as a superfood almost.
Yeah.
Like it's been used medicinally for
For
centuries.
centuries.
It makes you wonder, is this humble little bulb like this ancient ally for modern wellness?
Oh, right. It's like we've had this secret weapon in our kitchens all along.
Exactly.
So let's start with one of the big ones that everyone always talks about. It's immunity boosting properties.
Okay.
The sources we have today really highlight how garlic can give your immune system a huge boost.
And a lot of that has to do with that compound called allicin, right?
Yeah, Allison, yep.
That's what gives garlic, it's like that pungent aroma.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also what makes it such a powerful antimicrobial agent.
So it's not just an old wives' tale.
No.
There's actual science behind this.
Yeah, it basically disrupts the enzymes that certain bacteria and viruses need to survive.
Oh, wow.
So it's really good going in there and fighting those bugs.
So it can actually help us fight off colds and flu?
Yeah, the studies have shown that regular garlic consumption can actually reduce how often you get sick and how severe those colds and flus are.
Okay, that's good to know, especially during cold and flu season.
Right.
And actually, one of the sources has this really simple recipe for a garlic honey immune booster.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried it, but I've always been curious.
It's so easy. All it is crushed garlic and raw honey.
Yeah.
And you just let them infuse for a while, and then you can take it by the spoonful, or you can add it to warm water with a lemon.
Sounds pretty tasty.
Yeah, and soothing too, especially if you're feeling a little under the weather.
Definitely going to have to try that one out.
Yeah, it's a good one to have on hand during cold and flu season for sure.
Absolutely.
But okay, so we've talked about immunity now. Let's move on to another big one, heart health.
Oh, yeah, garlic is like a heart health hero.
It is. So sources are saying it can potentially lower blood pressure, reduce cholesterol levels, and even improve circulation.
That's impressive for one little bulb.
I know, right? And on top of all that, it's anti-inflammatory and a really potent antioxidant,
Oh, right. I was just going to say that.
which are huge for overall health.
Yeah, what exactly does that mean for our bodies, though? Like when you say anti-inflammatory and antioxidant?
Well, so inflammation, it's a natural process in the body. Yeah. But when it's chronic, it can contribute to a lot of health problems.
Oh, I see.
And antioxidants, they help protect our cells from damage caused by free radicals.
Which are those unstable molecules that can lead to aging and disease.
Exactly. So garlic is kind of working on multiple levels to keep us healthy.
It's like a multitasker.
Totally. And get this, it's also good for our gut.
Really?
Yeah, it acts as a prebiotic.
Okay, so remind me, what are prebiotics again?
Prebiotics, they're basically food for the good bacteria in our gut.
Oh, right.
They help those beneficial bacteria thrive, which is super important for digestion, immunity, even mental health.
Wow, so garlic is like a full-body wellness booster.
It really is. And if you're looking for a natural way to detox, garlic can help with that too,
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good at helping the body eliminate heavy metals.
which can build up over time from things like environmental exposure.
Right, so it's cleaning us from the inside out.
Exactly.
So we've talked about all these health benefits, but how do we actually use garlic,
All right, let's get to the fun part.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the sources we have today have some really delicious sounding recipes.
Like what?
Well, there's one for garlic and herb butter, which who doesn't love garlic bread?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And then there's a simple garlic and olive oil pasta.
Sounds easy enough.
Super easy. And then there's a roasted garlic spread that you can put on crackers or bread or even use as a dip.
Okay, now I'm getting hungry.
Me too.
Okay.
But it's not just about cooking. The sources also talk about some really interesting home remedies.
Oh yeah, like what? What stood out to you?
Well, I was really intrigued by the garlic cold and flu syrup.
Oh yeah, that one sounds interesting.
It's basically garlic, honey, lemon, and you can add a little cayenne pepper if you want.
Okay.
and it's supposed to soothe a sore throat and help fight off the virus.
So it's like a double whammy.
Exactly. And then there's garlic oil for ear infections.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it uses garlic's antimicrobial properties to help relieve pain and fight the infection.
So it's like a natural alternative to those over-the-counter eardrops.
Right, but of course you have to be really careful preparing the oil and using it correctly.
Definitely always want to be cautious with anything involving ears.
Absolutely. And then there's this garlic detox drink.
A garlic detox drink.
I know it sounds a little intense,
A little bit.
but it's just garlic, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, and warm water. And you can add honey if you want to sweeten it up.
Okay, so it's not as bad as it sounds.
No, not at all. And it's supposed to help flush out toxins and give your metabolism a boost.
Interesting.
Now, you're ready for the most interesting one.
Okay, hit me with it.
A garlic poultice for skin infections.
What? Like you put garlic directly on your skin?
Oh, you crush it up and mix it with coconut oil.
Okay,
And then you apply it to the affected area.
interesting.
It's supposed to help promote healing for minor infections and fungal issues.
Wow, garlic really is a multi-purpose wonder ingredient.
It is, and if you're ever feeling congested, you can try a garlic steam.
A garlic steam? What's that?
It's basically just adding crushed garlic to boiling water, and you can add a little eucalyptus oil if you want.
Okay.
And then you just lean over the bowl, cover your head with a towel, and breathe deeply.
Oh, so it's like a DIY spa treatment.
Exactly, except with garlic.
Well, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with all the ways you can use garlic.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
like this humble little bulb has so much to offer.
It really does make you appreciate the power of nature.
Absolutely. But okay, let's talk about something that I know some people struggle with the taste.
Ah, yes, the taste.
Some people love it. Some people find it a bit strong.
Right, it can be pretty pungent.
One of the sources actually recommends roasting garlic to mellow out the flavor.
Oh yeah, roasting does make it a lot sweeter and less intense.
It's like a whole different garlic experience.
It is, and for those who still find the flavor too strong, you can always use it more sparingly or pair it with other bold flavors to kind of balance it out.
Like in a spicy curry or a hearty stew.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's all about finding what works for you.
It's amazing to think that something as simple as garlic can have such a big impact on our health and well-being.
It really speaks to the power of nature and how sometimes the simplest solutions are the best.
And speaking of simple solutions, did you know that garlic has been used medicinally for centuries?
Oh yeah, I was reading about that it was highly valued in ancient civilizations.
Like the ancient Egyptians, they used garlic to treat everything from respiratory problems to digestive issues.
And the Greeks and Romans too, they were big fans of garlic.
Wow, it's like this ancient wisdom that's been passed down through generations.
It makes you wonder what other secrets we've forgotten about.
It's a good reminder to keep an open mind and explore those traditional remedies.
Absolutely, because you never know what you might discover.
Okay, but before we get too carried away with all the amazing things garlic can do,
Right.
are there any potential downsides or precautions we should be aware of?
That's a good question. And, while garlic is generally safe for most people,
Right.
there are a few things to keep in mind.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, some people can be allergic to garlic.
Oh, right.
So it's always a good idea to start with a small amount and see how your body reacts.
Especially if you've never had it before.
Exactly. And second, garlic can have blood-thinning properties.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you're planning to have surgery, or if you're taking blood thinners already, you should probably talk to your doctor before you start loading up on garlic.
That's good to know.
And lastly, garlic can sometimes cause digestive upset,
Okay.
especially when eaten raw or in large quantities.
So, as with most things, moderation is key.
Exactly. Listen to your body and adjust your intake accordingly.
Good advice.
Yeah.
So, for those of us who are ready to embrace the power of garlic,
Right.
any tips on how to choose and store it properly?
Yeah, the sources all recommend choosing garlic bulbs that are firm and plump,
Okay.
with no signs of bruising or sprouting.
Makes sense. You don't want a sad, squishy garlic bulb?
Exactly. And when it comes to storage, the best place is somewhere cool, dry, and well ventilated.
So, not the fridge.
Actually, it's best to avoid the fridge because the moisture can make it spoil faster.
Oh, good to know. I've been storing my garlic wrong this whole time.
Oh, well.
So basically, treat your garlic like a treasured possession.
I love that.
Keep it in a nice, cozy spot, and it will reward you with its amazing flavor and health benefits.
Well said.
Well, I don't know about you, but I am definitely feeling inspired to go on a garlic-infused culinary adventure after all this.
Me too. I'm thinking roasted garlic spread, for sure.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers to garlic.
Okay, before we wrap up this garlic-tastic deep dive,
Okay.
I just have to mention one more thing.
What is it?
Garlic can be good for your hair and skin, too.
Wait, really? I don't remember reading about that?
Yeah, apparently its anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties can help soothe scalp conditions like dandruff,
Oh, wow.
and it can even promote hair growth.
That makes sense considering how effective it is for other fungal and inflammatory issues.
Right, and for skin, it can be used topically to help clear up acne and reduce the appearance of scars.
Wow, this little bulb really can do it all.
I know, right? It's
I
incredible.
could probably do a whole series on just garlic.
Seriously. Well, on that note, let's move on to our final thought for our listeners. Something to ponder as they embark on their own garlic-infused journeys.
Okay, I'm ready.
We've talked about garlic's history, its science, its uses in the kitchen and the medicine cabinet,
Hmm.
but what about its future?
It's its future.
Yeah, we touched on some potential agricultural and environmental applications,
Right.
but what if we go even further? Like, what if we look at garlic on a molecular level?
Oh, wow.
Could we isolate and enhance specific compounds to create even more potent medicines?
Or maybe even entirely new materials.
Exactly. It's like stepping into the realm of science fiction.
It is. But sometimes those groundbreaking discoveries come from those who dare to imagine beyond what we currently know.
So we're challenging you, dear listener, to think outside the box. What could the future of garlic hold? What innovations might it inspire?
Maybe you'll be the one to unlock the next great garlic breakthrough.
Until then, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep an open mind to the wonders that this humble bulb has to offer.
I love that.
And there you have it, folks. Garlic, way more than just a tasty ingredient.
Agreed.
We hope this deep dive has left you feeling informed, inspired, and maybe even a little bit in awe of the power of garlic.
Remember, knowledge is most valuable when it's put into practice. So go forth, experiment, and discover the magic of garlic for yourselves. Until next time, happy exploring.
And that is part one, folks, but stick around because there's more to come.
Yeah, it really is amazing, how people figured all this stuff out.
It really is. Like, you think about all that knowledge about plants and their properties that was just passed down through generations.
Right, like they didn't have labs and scientific studies back then.
Exactly, but they were still able to figure out what worked and what didn't.
And while modern science can definitely help us understand, like, the how and the why behind those traditional uses, there's still a lot we can learn from just paying attention to that traditional wisdom.
Absolutely. It's like a reminder to keep an open mind, right?
Totally.
Sometimes the simplest solutions are right there in front of us.
Yeah, but I want to dive back into some of the specific remedies
Okay. Yeah.
because our sources had some really interesting details about how to actually use garlic for these home remedies.
Oh, okay. What stood out to you?
Well, the one that I thought was really interesting was the garlic cold and flu syrup.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's not just like throw some garlic and honey together and call it a day.
Right.
There's actually a method to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the source recommends crushing the garlic and then letting it sit for about 10 minutes before you mix it with the honey lemon and the optional cayenne.
Oh, interesting.
And apparently that helps activate the beneficial compounds even more.
Like it gives them a head start.
Exactly. And then you let that whole mixture infuse for a day or two before you use it.
So it's like you're really extracting all that goodness.
Exactly. And then for the garlic oil, for ear infections, they were very specific about using dried garlic cloves instead of fresh ones.
Okay. Interesting.
And simmering them gently in olive oil for a specific amount of time.
To avoid burning the garlic.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to burn it because then it can actually irritate your ear.
Right. That makes sense.
And they also stress that you should never put anything directly into your ear canal.
Yeah, that's good advice, especially with something as sensitive as an ear infection.
Right, exactly.
It's a good reminder that even natural remedies need to be used with caution.
Absolutely.
And, even with the garlic poultice for skin issues, they had specific instructions on how to prepare it.
Yeah, like what?
They recommend crushing the garlic cloves into a paste and mixing it with a carrier oil, like coconut oil.
Okay.
And then you apply that to the affected area. But they also suggest doing a patch test first, just to make sure you don't have any sensitivities.
Always a good idea.
Always a good idea. With any new remedy, really, just start small. See how your body reacts. But, beyond those specifics, what really impressed me was just the sheer variety of applications for garlic. It's like this one little bulb can be used for so many different things.
It's true. And we've already talked about the benefits for immunity, heart health, gut health, detox.
Right.
But the sources also mentioned it being used historically for things like respiratory issues, wounds, even as a natural insect repellent.
No way.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
amazing.
like having a whole natural pharmacy packed into one little bulb.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, what other potential uses are we overlooking?
It's a good question. you know?
Yeah, and that's what I love about exploring a topic like this is it really makes you curious,
Mm-hmm.
and it encourages you to think beyond just the conventional wisdom.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So speaking of thinking outside the box, one of the sources had some interesting ideas for using garlic beyond just health and cooking.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Well, one was using garlic as a natural pesticide.
Interesting.
Apparently, garlic extracts can be really effective against certain insects and pests, which could be huge for like more sustainable agriculture, you know?
Yeah, instead of using harsh chemicals, you could use garlic.
Exactly, like going back to nature's solutions.
I love that.
And they also talked about using garlic's antimicrobial properties to develop eco-friendly cleaning products.
That would be amazing.
Right. Like imagine being able to disinfect your house without all those harsh chemicals.
It would be a game changer.
It really would. It's amazing to think about all the potential applications that are still out there just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate just how powerful natural ingredients can be.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
like nature already has the answers to a lot of our problems.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to be open to exploring them.
Well said. Well, I don't know about you, but I am feeling so inspired after this deep dive.
Me too.
It's like garlic is so much more than just a tasty ingredient.
It's like a superpower in disguise.
It really is a versatile, potent force of nature with so many potential benefits.
I'm excited to see what other discoveries come out about garlic in the future.
Me too. Feels like we're just getting started.
I know, right? It feels like we could keep talking about garlic forever.
It really does. And that's actually a perfect segue to our final thought for this deep dive, something I want to leave our listeners with.
Okay, let's hear it.
So we've covered a lot, the history, the science, the practical uses in the kitchen and for home remedies.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the future of garlic?
The future, huh?
Yeah, we touched on some potential agricultural and environmental applications.
Right, right.
But what if we think even bigger? What if we start looking at garlic on like a molecular level?
Okay.
Could we isolate and enhance specific compounds to create even more potent medicines?
Oh, wow. Or maybe even entirely new materials.
Exactly. It's almost like we're talking science fiction now.
It is a bit. But, sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come from those who are willing to really think outside the box.
That's true. So we're challenging you, dear listener, to dream a little with us. What could the future of garlic hold?
What amazing innovations might this humble bulb inspire?
Maybe you'll be the one to unlock the next great garlic breakthrough.
I love that.
But until then, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep an open mind to the wonders that garlic has to offer.
Well said.
And there you have it, folks. Garlic, way more than just a tasty ingredient.
It really is.
We hope this deep dive has left you feeling informed, inspired, and maybe just a little bit in awe of the power of garlic.
Absolutely. And remember, knowledge is most valuable when it's put into practice.
So go forth, experiment, and discover the magic of garlic for yourselves.
Until next time, happy exploring.
And that's it for our garlic deep dives. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of something incredible.